All right. First rule of the channel, we not talk about this channel. Second rule of the channel, this is not legal advice. So this is going to be Chasing the Dragon for week 2. This is the reactive waiver wire show, not the proactive show. The proactive show will be tomorrow. I just got done breaking down all the stats with the exception of the Monday night game. And remember, scoring looks like it's going to be down across the league. Passing is going to be down across the league. The ability to see change faster than everybody else, the patterns, and adapt to that. That's intelligence. So again, if the league is changing, those rules that we thought we knew on fantasy football are going to be changing too. And the faster you adapt to that, the better chance you're going to have to win your league. So that's what we're going to be talking a little bit about today. Now, the big news on this one is going to be Isaiah Pacheco. He's going, looks like I'm going to guess like down for the year. I'll get into that a little bit more in a second. When it comes to your waiver claims, in your waiver claim leagues, as opposed to your fab leagues, generally speaking, I like to be like very proactive in those leagues. I do a lot of roster churn to begin with, but in my waiver claim league, I'm very, very proactive. So I'm throwing guys away a lot because I only have like one real chance maybe to get that number one waiver claim so I can get that guy when it's that guy's time. So, when it comes to like Carson Steele, yeah, I probably will be using that claim up. If you're wondering, if I have that, I don't have that in that league. So, I don't like waiver claim leagues, but that's how I do it. I generally don't like waiting on the waiver claim because, I don't know if I'm going to have that claim the week that comes up. Now, your fab leagues, and I think everybody should be in fab leagues. If you're in those fab leagues, I like being like really aggressive really early because there's no way that I'm going to know there's going to be a guy available in week 11 that's going to win me a league. And if that guy is going to be available, guess what? I'm going to be proactive, and hopefully that guy's on my bench ahead of time anyway. And we'll get into that a little bit too. So moving on from Carson Steele, we'll go position by position when it comes to quarterbacks. So remember, if the leagues are changing, we may just be chasing quarterbacks that are going to throw passing touchdowns consistently. Now, remember, chasing touchdowns is a good way to win your league. It's also a good way to lose your league. So going after these guys like Derek Carr, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, even Geno Smith, because they may just be part of offenses that like they're going to throw a touchdown pass or two every week. And that's all we're generally going to need out of it. Now, when it comes to Derek Carr, I don't know how much we're going to get any more rushing touchdowns, but the offense may be one of the few offenses that's going to score points like they did against the Cowboys, which was not predictive, and they did against the Panthers, which would have been predictive. When it comes to Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, we just may not be as concerned with the offense like scoring rushing touchdowns. That's just not how they're going to be designed. And both of them are going to have enough deceptive nimbly bimbly to theoretically win me a week in a spike week because of the rushing upside. Now, Geno Smith, he does have the rushing upside. I don't know if I would trust that because if Kenneth Walker comes back, Kenneth Walker is probably going to be the guy in the red zone when it comes down to that. All right. Running backs. Isaiah Pacheco goes down. I talked about that. I did see 6 to 8 weeks, but they said he went in for surgery with that broken fibula. So at this point, like 6 to 8 weeks, and then I'm going to guess there's going to be a ramp-up period. That's what I would guess at this point, expecting that down the line. So with him, Carson Steele, Isaiah Pacheco is supposed to be a 4.3 40 guy. I never saw that. Carson Steele is a 4.6 40 guy, and they play very much similar from a play style perspective. So this 80% snaps that Isaiah Pacheco had, he had that in the playoffs. He was out 60, 70% snaps most of the regular season. But he does look like he would have that. Now, what makes this really interesting and what would change Carson Steele from being like maybe a mid to high end RB2 to a low end RB1 to mid range RB1 is Samaje Perine's role in the offense did not increase from week 1 to week 2. So if they just know what they're going to get out of Samaje Perine, and that's not going to necessarily change, you may theoretically be able to get that 80% week 1 snaps, Isaiah Pacheco. Now, generally speaking, I don't think Carson Steele or Isaiah Pacheco were ever going to be design passing work guys, but like the league may be a changing, and you may not have gotten that out of basically a lot of guys anyway. So with that theoretical, like 15 to 20% snaps that Samaje Perine was going to get, like you're just going to get bulk volume. Chiefs offense may not be good. They may not be bad this year. And you're going to get a guy that's going to get like 15 touches a game, 20 touches a game with some theoretical red zone opportunities attached to that. Like that's going to be like, close enough to what is a modern day bell cow to be good enough at this point. So again, maybe you can get that one-to-one replacement. I think you got to be a little patient with Carson Steele. He may have to win the job, so they're not just going to hand it to him. And that means he's going to have to earn the trust snaps. So you may get like 40 to 60% snaps week 1, week 2 coming off the injury. It may take like a couple of weeks before you know that you have like your league winner when it comes down to that. Now, did see that Kareem Hunt came in to visit with the Chiefs. Remember, they do have an open roster spot. they're going to have to fill that roster spot with somebody. It could be Kareem Hunt. He did not look like he had a lot in the tank last year when he was with the Browns, and the Browns basically only used him in the goal line and as sometimes a dirty work back. And again, like that theoretical ability to have him do design receiving work, that's not what he was used with when he was with the Browns. I kind of think that he is somewhat redundant when it comes to Samaje Perine if they do sign him. Now, the one thing that I would be looking for tomorrow before I put my bid in or my claim in, Deneric Prince, Cam Pipe guy last year, Cam Pipe guy this year with the Chiefs, and he was taking number one reps when he was with the Chiefs. So he goes to the Dolphins. If the Chiefs want to sign him, they have to sign him to the active roster because he's on the Dolphins practice squad. Now, Kareem Hunt, they can assign to the practice squad. And those two things I would be looking at if there is enough information before you put your claim in. Now, I talk about this like I do not feel bad about overspending on guys that I want. I always feel bad about underspending on guys that I want, so that's the difference. If I do think that Carson Steele is going to win me a league and I think there's a chance with him this early, I will be very aggressive. And I'd rather be the guy that spends $10 or $20 more than everybody else in my league than $10 or $20 less, trying to get cute. Now we're going to talk about getting cute here in a second, but that's how I would view Carson Steele as theoretically being able to be that 1-to-1 replacement for Isaiah Pacheco for tomorrow. Now, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he could theoretically get back in this offense, but he's going to be on the pup for 2 more weeks. So at least I get 2 weeks to find out if Carson Steele can win that job. And again, with Carson Steele, I think he's a better football player than Isaiah Pacheco is. It just comes down to can he produce enough on the opportunities he gets to gain enough trust? He did have a fumble this last game, but I would be somewhat aggressive on him this week. Moving on to the other running backs, Braelon Allen may end up having just enough standalone value if this continues. So he did 18% snaps week 1, 35% snaps week 2. 2 of those were red zone opportunities. He cashed both of those in. So if you're getting about a guy that may do like 10 to 15 opportunities a game, and some of those may be higher volume pass or higher volume opportunities in the red zone, yeah, that's going to be really close to RB2 land to begin with, plus league winner if Breece Hall goes down. So I will be aggressive on him, especially because I own Breece in both my leagues. Bucky Irving, not interested in him that much outside of like being a cuff if I'm the Rachaad White owner. So his snaps did not go up. Neither of the guys were particularly efficient against the Lions this week. So I don't generally think that's going to go up. This would be more how much is a win worth if you are, say, blocking against like Rachaad White, or you have Rachaad White because of Rachaad White's groin injury that we don't have news on. Now, the sneaky guy this week is going to be Cam Akers based off of Joe Mixon's ankle injury. So Dameon Pierce, he was not active within the injury. Cam Akers comes in 21% snaps, 7 for 32, another target, and then a fumble to go along with that. He did look really good in the preseason. I did put out a little effort on that one and watch some tape during the preseason. So he would be the guy. And I talked about this before. If I'm the Joe Mixon owner, I'm cuffing anyway. So this would be the sneaky guy that I would be dropping a little bit of fab on. I would be going hard in the paint for Carson Steele. I'm going to be aggressive on Braelon Allen because I'm for no other reason than I'm the Breece owner. And then Cam Akers would be the sneaky guy. Now, Ty Chandler and Antonio Gibson, they're both maybe standalone value, definitely handcuff guys that I would be going after in both these leagues. Now, remember, the Vikings offense may be better than the Patriots offense. With the Patriots offense, you're probably buying more of a lottery ticket, but he does appear to have a particular role. So 7 attempts on 22% snaps week 1, 24% snaps, 11 or 12 total opportunities week 2. So he does appear to have a role in a conservative offense. All right, wide receivers. Rashid Shaheed, he should have been drafted in all leagues going into the year. Number 2, probably attached to this Saints offense. I don't know how consistent you're going to be able to get out of him. He's going to be like one of those low opportunity, high efficiency guys, and he's either going to have to get home on a chunk play or a touchdown. Generally, again, if this offense is one of the better offenses, and some of the offenses that we thought were going to be bad are going to be good, being able to take that chance on him if he's available, he's still probably going to be in that wide receiver 2 boom bust land. But at this point, like if he's the number 2 in an offense and it's a good offense, like, yeah, go ahead and spend on. Jalen Nailor is going to be the sneaky guy with theoretically Justin Jefferson's quad and Jordan Addison's ankle and TJ Hawkinson being on the pup. Alec Pierce, yeah, if he's the number one, it doesn't matter how ugly it is. If he's the guy getting those opportunities again, rolling him out there. I don't know how many people are going to need that type of wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3 type of help. But at this point, like, there are worse guys. I talked about this before. Like, Alec Pierce was always that guy because of that snap share and how he's running routes. He's always going to have a certain amount of fantasy viability. Now, I could also see that he doesn't have another fantasy relevant week for the rest of the year. So be advised on that. Quentin Johnston's another one that's a little interesting to me on this one when it comes down to he may theoretically be the number one in this offense. Now, I was looking at today when I looked at the Chargers schedule, and they may not be any game in any games this year where they have to really throw the ball more than 20 times. And I know I said that doesn't really matter if they're all going to Ladd McConkey. Well, in this case, they all may be going to Quentin Johnston at this case. So, like, I may be wrong on Ladd McConkey. It may be Quentin Johnston. Who knows? Ladd McConkey was only at 47% snaps, but this was, another blowout. Quentin Johnston was at 70% snaps. He did have 6 targets, 2 of them in the red zone. And I did see a stat on Twitter where he's like number 3 when it comes to wide receivers, like first look reads. All right. With Cooper Kupp and Puka going on IR, because I don't know if Cooper Kupp has definitely gone on IR yet, but supposedly he's supposed to. Demarcus Robinson would be the smart play. Tyler Johnson would be the, if I can't get Demarcus Robinson play, and then Jordan Whittington would be the I told you so cute play out of all these guys. Now, it doesn't mean that Tutu Atwell's role in the offense won't increase, but again, like, I tend to think that Demarcus Robinson was the number 3, and they were just going to run with him as the number 3. And then Tyler Johnson looks like he stepped into the Puka role when Puka went down. So when it comes down to us guessing who's going to be the number 1 in the offense, that becomes the question. I'm still going to guess if both Puka and Kupp go on IR, it's going to end up being Jordan Whittington because I think he's better than those other 2 guys. Now, vacated opportunities tend to go to running backs first and then tight ends, which means we can jump over and we can look at Kobe Parkinson. Now, he didn't get those vacated opportunities week 1 or week 2. So I think that's a long shot, but we got to talk about that. If I'm going after tight ends, the guy to go after is Hunter Henry this week. Yeah, I talked about this in the offseason. Theoretically, he had the road to be the number 1 in his offense as tight end. Can never break my heart if he does that. So I don't know how consistent the 12 targets is going to be, but yeah, can I still see the story where he finishes the number 1 in a conservative offense? Absolutely. Now, Mike Gesicki, 9 targets, 47% snaps. I don't know how consistent that's going to be, especially when the rookie Eric All finished with 52% snaps. I can imagine there's a story where Eric All is the actual guy to own in this offense going forward, especially with some of the inconsistency with the Bengals offense. Now, you want to get a little cute when it comes down to this. Evan Ingram missed with a hamstring in pregame warmups. Brenton Strange, 2nd-round draft pick last year. I like Brenton Strange. They brought him in more to be a complete tight end. 68% snaps with Evan Ingram being out. He does 6 for 3 for 65 in that game. So again, if there's a guy that I would be tracking on as at least a 1-week streamer, if Evan Ingram is out, it may be Strange over all these guys because of the situation that they're in. Jaguars offense, I don't necessarily think it's going to be good. I don't know how much I trust the Rams offense. Maybe Hunter Henry if he's available because like he's going to be the number 1 there, and Gesicki like probably not interested in all. All right, when it comes to like streaming defenses this week, if you're into that type of thing, like Green Bay against the Titans is probably going to be the one that I think has a good chance on. You could go Bears or Colts against each other, either or. Minnesota's going to be, always got a puncher's chance. In general, the Chargers and the Steelers, I think like it doesn't matter how good or bad an offense is. You generally want more pass attempts because more pass attempts leads to more pressures. More pressures lead to more sacks, and more pressure leads to more turnovers. So again, generally, better defenses going up against better offenses in those type of script games have better opportunities to score more fantasy points out there. So the Bucks against the Broncos is probably pretty good play. Maybe the Raiders against Carolina. I could see that being a good play. Seattle against Miami right now with the quarterback situation going on. Trying to look at some of the other ones that we have going on out there. Chiefs against the Atlanta is probably not a bad role if you're in that pinch. Buffalo against Jacksonville and Bengals against Washington may not be bad, but there's probably better ones out there. So anyway, that's what I'd be looking at with these guys this week. Like Carson Steele, I'm going to be healthy, aggressive on. I'm also going to be aggressive on Braelon Allen, either because I need an RB2 or because I'm cuffing. I'm the Brees owner. or I want that lottery ticket, I probably would be going after Braelon Allen after seeing how the Jets used him this week. Cam Akers is going to be sneaky, and Jordan Whittington is going to be the guy. Like, if I want to get cute, Jalen Nailor is going to be the dart throw if the health of the Vikings receivers continues to be bad. Rashid Shaheed is going to be like that wide receiver too. Quentin Johnson, I think, is going to be a little interesting when it comes down to that down the line. But anyway, for the most part, if I didn't go some type of rushing quarterback, even like Patrick Mahomes, I probably would be throwing my dart to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to like Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield. If I miss out on those guys, maybe Derek Carr, maybe Geno Smith, just to see how it works out down the line. But anyway, this is Chasing the Dragon for week 2. I'll get after waivers out tomorrow sometime.